Crack cocaine became my nightmare. It became the thing that would destroy me as a person. It would destroy my whole life. The worst part of my addiction is realizing that I become a failure. I victimized my family. I victimized my mother, my grandmother. I victimized my grandfather. People who loved me, and yet that drug did not allow me to love them back. When you pick a dope dealer over your grandmother, and hours later she has a heart attack, you make those decisions. And that was the lowest part.
My mother and father being so young, it played a toll on our family. My father literally walked out when I was 9. My mom worked endless hours to take care of us. I acted out promiscuously when I was young, and in turn I ended up pregnant myself at 15 years old. Having a baby so young, I was that girl in the neighborhood that would never amount to anything, so they say, and I drank. And when I drank, it went away. And so I found a solution. And that's how it started for me.
I think one of the things I learned from growing up around alcoholics is that drinking to excess was okay. So at a very young age, I started experimenting with alcohol and with drugs and continued that way pretty much all through high school. I went away to college and really got into pretty heavy cocaine use. I got married and had my son, and that got me clean for a little while. But eventually when we started having problems in our marriage, I returned to using, and my life and my addiction took a very drastic turn, and eventually wound up going to prison.
Addiction is a family disease. It may be one member of the family, but it has a huge impact on all family members. Often individuals' addiction comes out of a level of mental health or other stress that the family has gone through, and that individual has chosen to turn to substance abuse to deal with those issues. And so it's very important as a program that you understand that and that you work with the individual where they're at. Cenikor Foundation was started in 1967 by a group of individuals that are tired of constant relapse in their life and wanted to make a change. It was a self-help program based on peer recovery. When I came to Cenikor Foundation 14 years ago, I thought I knew what drug addicts look like because I saw them on the nightly news. What I didn't expect to do was find people that looked just like me, and to find individuals that, when you started to understand their life story, had not made a decision to become a drug addict or an alcoholic, but had ended up in that position trying to alleviate the pain that they were experiencing through their emotions.
I lost everything. I lost my home, I lost my wife, I lost my job, I lost my credibility, I lost my character, and I replaced it with nothing. And I kept nothing for a long time.
And this time, it got a little worse, and everything that hadn't happened yet started to. I started getting arrested, and life got so tough that my mother took my daughter from me. I say took my daughter. I gave my daughter to my mother because I loved to drink more than I loved to take care of her.
My grandfather was still, he was there for me when I got out of prison and helped me get back on my feet. I eventually got my own business going and was in my children's lives and was doing very well. But due to drinking again, I eventually relapsed. And after I relapsed, it wasn't very long before they violated my parole and I went back to prison. When I went back to prison that time, my grandfather passed away while I was in prison. And my aunt wrote me a letter to tell me that he had passed away. And I'll never forget in that letter, she told me that all my life I had been a taker, that I took from everybody around me, and that when I learned to be a giver, that my life would change.
I got sober the last time in 2012. Sitting in a bathroom, my daughter is pregnant with my grandson, and she promises me, "This baby will never see you drunk." And I don't care what that means. If it means that we never see you because you can't stop getting drunk, then that's what it means. But my child will not love you like I love you and see you like that. And for the first time in 20 years, I thought about Cenikor.
I remember November 14, 2006, I checked into the Cenikor with the opportunity, my last opportunity, to really make a difference and save my life.
Depending on what national studies you look at, they'll talk about that over 10% of the individuals in the U.S. are in some level of addiction and needing services. And unfortunately, of the 10%, less than 10% of that group actually receive any organized services. We have a golden opportunity for individuals that are with us for 2 years. While they're with us, they should improve their education, rebuild their family relationships, recover from their addiction, and find full employment so that when they leave, they can have success. Cenikor's 2-year inpatient program is not incarceration, and the length of treatment makes it very unique in today's environment because no institution, no government agency, no insurance program will fund 2 years of treatment. However, when you realize that our average resident has almost 20 years of addiction and they started often in their teens, 2 years is not an unreasonable amount of time. Not only do you have to help them get through their addiction, you often have to help them rebuild family relationships, help them with education because often they've dropped out of school, and additionally their job skills are very challenged. And so often, even though that they're trying to maintain sobriety, because of the lack of education, lack of job skills, they find themselves going back into the life they left because that's the only skill set that they often have. Cenikor Foundation has been able to build long-term relationships with local corporations and businesses. We call them community business partners to create employment opportunities for residents that often found themselves locked outside of the job market. Our residents very seldom meet their employment requirements that the company has, but because of their confidence in our treatment programs and the structure that we provide with the residents, they'll let our residents come on job sites and go through an intern program that will give them anywhere from 6 to 12 months worth of training so the company can build their confidence in the individual and then provide full-time employment. This often takes an individual that had been working at day labor into a skilled position as a machinist, an equipment operator, or some office work to create an environment for them to have economic success and will take them out of their addiction because it constructs a new life for them. At the same time, we use this opportunity to help residents build their education. If they don't have their high school diploma, we have our own instructors and help them get their GED. And if the residents want to, we'll provide scholarships for them to attend college. This past year, we had over 100 residents that were able to go to community college to start their college educations.
Cenikor was the place that I learned how to really become a man. They showed values and accountability and structure and what leadership was and professionalism, and I was hungry for that. In the life of recovery, you have an opportunity every day to be a better person. Cenikor challenged me to realize that the man that's inside of me can have just as much success as the man that brought me to the program. But I had to put God first, and I had to put people first.
And I finally learned that helping other people filled a hole inside of me and gave me a fulfillment that I didn't know that I needed. And when I went through the program and I stayed with Cenikor and continued to try and help other people, that my life changed drastically.
Somehow they connected the dots, that the reason my life on the outside was chaotic is because I didn't know how to love me on the inside. Today I get to give it back. And I owe that to Cenikor. I not only get to be their grandmother, but I get to show other women how they can claim their lives. I get to show other women it's not hopeless. It is absolutely not hopeless. You just gotta go out there and believe in somebody else's miracle for just a little while, and then enough will happen, and the miracle is yours.
I want to thank you for being here tonight and supporting Cenikor Foundation through the Gala. The support that we'll receive here tonight makes it possible to do additional services for individuals that may be suffering through additional mental health issues that our normal treatment programs wouldn't cover. Additionally, this makes it possible for us to help reach individuals that have no source of funding for services. Often they're the individuals that get forgotten, they get left behind. Your participation tonight makes it possible for nobody to be left out, for nobody to be forgotten. It gives us the ability to reach the last person who is in look of services and get them where they want to go. Thank you.